stoked by men of spit, now in spirit for eternity cloaked. Can you hear the cold tracks trembling, even though there's nothing there? Shadow wheels of rails of steel, skyrockets in the air. A song as old as mountains, a tale that's just as tall, told around 100 fires that ghost string cannonball. Can you see the dust trail rising through the early evening mist? Horse takes flight, horse gets quiet on the devil's lonely kiss. Can you feel the cracks are trembling with each shovel a new blast? Hot ash of hope, hell to hold as the phantom winds roll past. A song as old as mountains, a tale that's just as tall, told around 1,000 fires that ghost string cannonball. It rumbles into darkness to make just one last haul. Its destination never reached, that ghost string cannonball. Train, ghost train, the ghost train, ghost train, ghost train. Jack default, jailhouse buds, mechanics bloods, not easily paroled. It's best to sit it out, my friend, just pull the reins in tight. Hat down low, exhale slow, let it pass on through the night. A song as old as mountains, tale that's just as tall, told around 10,000 fires that ghost string cannonball. It rumbles into darkness to make just one last haul. Its destination never reached, that ghost string cannonball. The ghost train, ghost train, the ghost train. It's a song called The Ghost Train, co-written by a dear friend of mine and a dear friend of my special guest tonight, Steve Traetta. Steve, hello.
Hey, how you doing, Tom?
Steve is a man of many hats. He's a stage help, stage manager, hospitality manager. He's a personal assistant of sorts, a confidant. He does a lot of stuff for the band, Half Step, and a dear friend to the dear friend I'm speaking of, Scott Vid, who just recently passed a few days ago. So we're here to remember his memory and share some stories and thoughts and songs that I've co-written with Scott Vid. That first one being called Ghost Train. Got a couple more lined up. How you doing, Steve? This has been a rough week, you know?
Yes, it has, Tom.
For those out there who don't know Scott Vid, he was running the Barnum Ballroom in Island Park in the last few years, as well as doing sound for bands all over Long Island.
Neverland Productions, right?
Yes, Neverland Productions was his company. He did all the Grateful Fests with Rich Rifkin.
Woodstock Festival.
Woodstock Festival. Just so much help that he offered all the musicians on Long Island as far as doing the sound and really caring. He cared a lot about the music, and that was his passion.
Getting there the day before and setting up the generators for the lights and putting the backing on the stages and watching the stage get delivered and set up. And, it was more than just a one-day thing. It was a day before setup and a day after breakdown for everyone. And he was there, with bells on.
And then coordinating the stage, the flow of the bands and being the MC.
And vendors.
Vendors, coordinating that. He was a man with a huge heart. He would take the shirt off his back for you. And he never expected anything,
Yep, never a discouraging word. If it couldn't be done, he made it work. He got it done.
So you and Scott go way back.
Yeah, 1980. Yeah, right before the Grateful Dead Radio City shows. I met him in one of my friend's neighborhoods in North Massapequa, where he lived, and he had some extra Radio City Grateful Dead tickets, and I had some cash, and brought me to his house, and we made a trade, and I looked over and saw his stash of live Grateful Dead tapes. And I said, oh, this is kind of interesting. I have some of these shows on vinyl. And he's like, well, we, tape the shows live and, record. He goes, if you want to be in the club, why don't you buy some microphones and you could be in the club with me and my good friend John Hance. And I said, sounds great. And I went out and bought a set of Nakabichi 300s with the shotguns, and I was in the club.
Now, the club you speak of as being a live concert recorder for mostly Grateful Dead shows, where they allowed it, they didn't discourage it, but they didn't make a designated area for you yet to actually set up your microphones and not be in the way of the people who are trying to enjoy the show. So in those first few years, it must have been very chaotic.
Yes,
to try to sneak your stuff in without it being taken away by guards because you were sitting in the middle of the floor with your poles.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what year they established the Tapers Pit, but I remember we were in there taping probably before that was established. So, so we had to sneak some stuff in, here and there.
Stab was probably like 86 or 87 when they
something
started
like that, probably 86.
Maybe a little earlier.
Shotguns in your fry boots, shotgun mics and tape decks strapped around, up skirts around your back, wherever we can get them to get them in, So that's how we did that mostly.
So how many Dead shows did you guys record together? Like
me and Scott and John, we did a lot separately. We did a lot together, probably 60 or 70 that I was involved in, with them together,
Nice.
So,
did you ever have any option to get into like the soundboards?
No, not me.
No,
not at all. No.
Because there's those guys that used to like pine the sound crew to get them to patch into their boards. And
no, that never happened.
Those are real snobby guys.
We did tape front of the board in Long Beach Arena in, I believe it was August of '81, and we got shut down by Dan Healy. As a matter of fact, took our tape deck, our D5, and
really,
and we had to go back to the board during the break and beg for it back. Yeah.
Did he give it back to you?
Yeah, we got it back. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but. Yeah, it was fun.
But you didn't tape that show,
though. No, we didn't get the tape back. Let's say that. Yeah. We taped the next night where we belonged. Right. So, and that was my graduation present to me. Got on a plane with Scott. I graduated out of high school out of Farmingdale, and we got on a plane and we did 2 Long Beach shows in California, and then we did Compton Terrace in Tempe, Arizona, and then we capped it off with the Aladdin Theater in Las Vegas, and then we came home. Huh. And we had a great time. Yeah, we had a great time. Yeah.
1 or 2 years before I was on the bus, so to speak. But I had those Long Beach tapes.
Yeah,
good shows.
The second night was probably because of us. So. Now there were a lot of other people out there taping too, and we got a lot of good sound out of that arena. That Long Beach arena sounded good. So yeah.
The Coliseum had its moments.
Yeah.
The Garden, of course. Yep.
Yeah.
So I had met Scott Vid back in 2010 when I joined Half Step, and he was their sound man at the time, and also their graphic designer, and I guess he was helping them promote. So having those early days with Scott, just trying to figure him out, because he was a very private person. He didn't speak much if he wasn't offered up the opportunity.
Right.
So like he had his cards close when we first met, and I was doing a lot of the traveling. I would hop in with him in the truck when we'd go to the shows, and I remember saying stuff like, "So I think I want to run in stereo," and him being like, "Nah, that no." You know, and I'm thinking to myself like, "Why would I want to run my amp in stereo anyway?" And Jerry never did that, and you know it would be more work for him. So he was all about like, "No, I don't think that's going to work." But then getting to the place and just seeing him work like a mule, I mean, he just took the whole trailer apart by himself. I mean, I'm responsible for my amp and that and all that, but I turn around and there's subs being brought in, and he's sweating like a pig before the show.
Yeah,
and,
it took a lot out of him, and and a couple of years ago he decided, to get out of that and get a club, and he, lived his dream. He got the Barn and Ballroom, and he got.
He was able to leave
there.
the PA in one place and bring the bands to where he was, which was a nice flip of the coin for himself.
Yep.
But within those times of traveling with him and one-on-one stuff, I learned that he was a songwriter and a poet, and he did that stuff. And I'm a musician that usually struggles with lyrics, so it's like, what do you say we just get together and do something, and maybe we can, get some kind of collaboration happening. And it happened so effortlessly. Like the first time we got together, within an hour, the song "Lover Man That Could Never Be" was written, and it's still one of my favorite songs to play of his. And I think I'll do that now.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, his style of writing is very Americana. I could see the influence with Robert Hunter, where he liked to find characters in the music and paint imagery that represented the old America. Still, and for me as a writer, just see that on the paper and be like, all right, well, it kind of needs this kind of song behind it, and it was good because it helped me get out of my comfort zone of how I would write normally. But cool.
Nice.
But anyway, this is like a straight up country ballad that you'd say, "The Lover Man That Can Never Be." There's a little country girl, and she's sitting on her back porch just for me. And she's there most every night in the sun's fading light for the lover man that can never be. 'Twas the fall of 21 when the long end of a gun filled an innocent man with hot lead. I was foolish, I was young, and it wasn't very long till I woke up with a price on my head. From the back roads to the rails, every dusty hobo trail, I spend my days thinking of you. How I long for you each night, dreamt of holding you tight, a dream that may never come true. In a house upon a hill, there's a little country girl. She's sitting on her back porch just for me. She is there most every night in the twinkling starlight for the lover man that can never be. On the night that I had fled, oh, the tears that we had shed, the Rio Grande would have overflown. Now the night is dark and long as I sing this mournful song, trying to shake listen to my plight, I relive it every night. 'Cause a pistol has two business ends. I'll be looking down my back with every bark and every crack. A train whistle, my only friend. In a house upon a hill lived a little country girl. She sat on her back porch just for me. She was there most every night in the pale blue moonlight, for the lover man that can never be. She was there most every night till the early morning light, for the lover man that can never be. For the lover man that can never be. Yeah, it's a pretty song.
I'm sure Scott's listening to us right now. Will you?
Yeah, maybe he'll call in.
Yeah, right.
We are accepting callers, aren't we, Tony? I didn't introduce Tony Walker to you folks. I mean, you people know Tony Walker because he's here long before we are. You were here at what? 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning?
Yeah, around 9.
Yeah,
around 9.
He's definitely been here longer than us.
Yeah, it's a 12-hour day, right?
Yeah,
So-
I got home. I got to go home for an hour and a half.
Feed the dog, kick the cat. Yes, Tony keeps this thing rolling.
Trying.
Thank you for manning it, being the helmsman, with all the
Absolutely.
buttons and the switches.
Sorry for your loss there, pal. That was a great song.
Oh, thank you, Tony. Yeah. So yeah, call in 516 yada 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 yada. Forget what that says there.
There it is. 516-465-3990.
There it is. It's on your screen. I see it.
Yep, it's there now.
So did you want to talk about what we have in store for Scott?
Yes, actually, we will
ahead.
discuss the fact that Steve is spearheading a benefit show to be put together for Scott in Scott's honor on his birthday, which would have been 64th birthday. Cinco de Mayo, May 5th.
Hard to forget that birthday.
Yeah, it's my sister's birthday too.
Yeah.
So I've known that birthday to be a birthday for a long time, and I always think of Scott every year.
I always gave him a call on his birthday.
Yeah, me
no
too,
matter
'cause I
where
couldn't
was.
forget it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna do a show, Half Step. We'll curate the music, and we're gonna raise some money for the families, involved in Scott's life that could use the support. And it's gonna be an event that would start. I don't know what time.
Between 7 and 8, probably.
Yeah, 7 and 8. I'm there early anyway on the Friday to do the happy hour. So maybe we'll just make my happy hour just be the beginning of it. Maybe I'll
It's a
bring
great idea. Yeah.
some people up doing that, so it
Sure,
can alleviate some of the traffic and
Yeah.
that. So come down. Mr. Beery's on Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Steve's a guest of the show as well.
Thank
The
you.
wild man Steve Beery. And
Maybe he'll blow some harp.
he will blow some heart. And he'll tell some stories too. He knew Scott for years as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people knew Scott. And a lot of people want to come out and show their support. So if you guys have it in your heart, come out and donate and have a whole night of music and memories.
Yeah, he had mentioned today that Scott's been around with a lot of different bands over the years, and this should snowball pretty well.
Yeah. And it'll be a good event. We have plenty of opportunities from now till then to just keep them in our thoughts and our memories.
Right.
And the bands will definitely pay tribute.
As you guys did on Saturday night at the hometown barbecue in Red Hook.
Yeah, that's right. Half Step played this past weekend, the day of his passing, March 4th, to a Brooklynite crowd. Brooklynites.
With some good brisket.
Yes. The place did have some great food, I
Yeah,
gotta say.
that was delicious.
And Half Step will be playing again March 22nd at the Warehouse on a Wednesday night. But this Wednesday night, I'll be there with Tiger Rose, which is my other steady working jam band, playing Jerry Garcia band for his music. So that should keep me occupied this week doing that. Playing Thursday night at RJ Daniels in Rockville Center. And I'll be at Mr. Beery's on Friday night. And then after my show at Mr. Beery's, I will go to Bo's Bar, another guest of the show, to play with Dave Diamond Band, also another guest of the show.
There you go.
Wow. Got a lot of guests on this show.
A lot of guests on the show. You're a popular guy.
A lot of ghosts in the room.
Now, did you guys play the other night after hearing the news, or did you
Yes.
not? Oh, you did, huh? That
Yes.
must have been a tough gig, huh?
Yeah,
Yes.
that morning we...
Passed early in the morning, about
okay.
7 o'clock in a.m. Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah,
Wow.
so,
yeah. That was a rough one.
I had to do a comedy show years ago. One of my best friends had died suddenly, and I had to perform that night. So yeah, it's not easy, man.
Yeah.
People think there's nothing to it, but to go out there and
Right.
entertain, it's you have to have a certain energy about you.
Yeah, especially
you
with
can't do it.
comedy. I mean, that's, you know... You gotta
Yeah,
be-
but I would think it's the same thing. My guess. I don't know.
Yeah. But, you know, the whole idea is to not be, you know, in my case, trying to just be so funny all the time. It's got to be hard
Yeah,
when
but
you're
you
not
still,
being in a funny
but
mood.
to still do what you do and to do it
Yeah,
with
so-
a certain energy. We're entertainers. What it comes down to, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
And
we
just
we performed He's Gone, and I cried halfway through it.
jeez.
And someone in the audience had approached me and said, "You know what this song is about?" And I said, "Yeah." You go, "You know what the song's about?" He goes, "Yeah, it's about Mickey Hart's father, of course." You know.
Oh yeah.
And I said, "No, actually, this song is about my dear friend that we lost this morning. Right now."
Mm-hmm.
I said it's been dedicated to him. So
I think every time that song is performed around the world, it's to tribute to somebody, you know.
yeah, absolutely.
But I'll spare the audience that performance here. I can't get through another He's Gone. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
But, you know, the song is literally about Mickey Hart's father stealing their money and taking off with it. That's what it's not about him
Right.
passing.
He's gone. Took the money and run.
Oh, is that
He
right?
stole the money. He's gone. No one's going to bring him back.
Wow.
You know, rat in a drain ditch. So, yeah. So, you've had an interesting past, Steve, as far as being in the music scene, working with the Zen Tricksters, working with Donna Jean Gaucho. And, you know,
Yes.
Steve is the quintessential, you know, man you want around to. Like he said once to
thank
me,
you.
he goes, look, you pay me to be an asshole. And then he opened the door. He said, after you. it was just like, so like, hey, man, do this. You pay me to be an asshole. After you. So I got to say. And, you know, we also have the mobile moving
The
green
rolling
room.
green
The
room.
rolling green room is the van that
15 passenger Chevy.
we all get to blow off some steam or cool off a little bit and powder the nose. and-
Tommy takes his break in there and
I try to.
go back on.
So, like, in those years of doing that same service for Donna Jean and Jeff,
Which
and
is
those
actually her
guys.
van.
Right. Okay. So
Okay.
here we go.
So you're going to lead into that guy?
Yeah, we'll get into like, you know, the metamorphosis of the
Okay.
Donna Jean van becoming your livery service. You
Right.
know? What year was that around? Like what time?
Well, I started with them in 2008, and it was Donna Jean and the Tricksters.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe it was a little more, probably over a year or so, that morphed into the Donna Jean and Jeff Mattson band. And then that lasted for, you know, a little while. And then Jeff joined Dark Star. I think Jeff joined Dark Star maybe 2009 or so. And, you know, it's just kind of like shattered. The band kind of like, you know, came apart, you know, and everybody went their different ways. And Jeff was holding up with the van and the trailer. And he's like, you know, I'm looking to get rid of this. I said, you know, and that's how I got it from Jeff, you know. He actually passed it along to me. He said, but one thing, I want you to keep it in the family, you know. So and that's pretty much what I did. It's still there, you know.
Yeah.
It's 2006, so, you know, it's got some mileage on it. I'm almost up to 200,000, you know.
And you've been more busy. I think you're busier than ever now. I mean, in
Yes.
the last few months, once the word got out that Steve has this van and he can do airport runs and
Right.
bar hops and whatnot. So, you know,
Boat cruises, you name it.
we sprayed the Ozium in there a few times and brought the parents to the airport.
Yep.
You know, the whole family with the luggage. So, you know, it's definitely a well-rounded, versatile, integral part of the organization, and
It comes in handy, that's for sure.
certainly does. And
Everybody seems to enjoy it.
yeah, I remember rolling into the Gathering of the Vibes, seeing you guys pulling in. I was backstage that one year. I guess that had to be 2007 or 8.
I think 7, yeah.
2007.
Nope, 2008.
You had the trailer
2000
attached to it.
2008.
2008.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
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 I guess that was my.
Yeah, we used to roll with the trailer on the back. Now
Yeah,
I
so
just
see, I knew you were ready by then because it wasn't like, who's this guy? You know, I think I remembered. You know.
right
So yeah, we go back.
about 15 years or so.
Yeah, I'd say that, something like that. I mean, you weren't working with us at the time, but
But I was looming in the area.
many a Ticketron wait out for tickets and bracelets when I see Steve marching up and down in the front because you know he's got that ADD attention. You know, he can't sit still for more than OCD and ADD and THC and PCB.
Well, I
you know,
always say
you
it's
name it.
harder to move a hitting target. So you know, I'm never in the same place more than like 2 minutes.
But we, you know, me and my guys, we always be like, hey, look at him, he's the mayor. We used to call him the mayor. Look at this guy, thinks he's the mayor. And now look,
That's before you knew me.
Yeah.
yeah.
now he drives the bus.
Yeah. I'm like Otto.
Yeah.
Party hardy makes you tardy, right?
Yeah. So how was it traveling with Donna Jean? Did she share a lot of stories?
It was
or
fun.
it,
Yeah, she did share some stories from back in the day. You know.
That's cool.
Yeah. With
I only got to meet her once or twice. Once at Dave Diamond's wedding, and
What's her story? Did they boot her out of the band after her husband
I
passed?
think. Well, no, they were still married and together when they left
Yeah.
the band. But it
Oh,
was
they left the band before he
Yeah, it was
died?
amicable.
Oh, I didn't know.
It was amicable.
Yeah.
I think they both realized they reached the end of the road.
Oh, okay.
But he died in a car crash like a year later.
right.
Right,
Yeah, you
right,
were already
yeah.
out of the band. Yeah. Sure.
Oh, okay.
And she's somewhat retired now. I pretty much
Yes.
was.
Yeah. She's got.
But she had an interesting background. She was a background singer for Elvis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Suspicious Hearts or whatever that's
Suspicious Minds?
Suspicious Minds.
You're not an Elvis guy, huh?
That's no, not really.
That was funny. Did that just come on in the van the other night?
Yes, it came
Yeah.
out of the van.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I did, but when
So
we were-
she sang on that?
Yeah, she's one
Oh,
of
no
the background
kidding.
singers on that.
I don't know anything about her other than being in The Dead. I have no
Muscle
idea.
Shoals girl.
Wow.
She did a lot of
Yeah.
big names, backups. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Just remember being never really a big Elvis guy. I mean, maybe when I was like 10 or 11 years old, just the persona of him made me intrigued enough.
Right, right.
When he died, I guess it was the age. I was 12 or whatever when he died. So.
Oh, but those early
But I
50s,
remember
too.
being on the road with the Underdogs, and we'd be playing like Yes, and Genesis, and Grateful Dead, and Zeppelin, and the whole time Ed Ryan would be in the back like, I got an Elvis tape.
Elvis.
And nobody's biting. He's like, guys, I got an Elvis tape. No, then finally, when it was Ed's turn to drive, you know, he got to play the Elvis tape. and it was like this B version of all his hits. Like there was not one hit on it. You know,
Oh,
It was
really?
All these like really weird, obscure Elvis songs. So that really reinforced my lack of knowledge of Elvis. But I had this one song, When It Rains or When It Pours, which we have a song, When It Rains It Pours, so it was kind of funny. Look, Elvis is stealing our song. I want to play another one of the vid songs. Till I remember it. Yeah, this one's called The Sirens Song. I forgot how it starts, too. Many men have been tempted by the siren song. Men who knew better, the mighty and strong. Many times I've been tempted to follow their lead. Many fair maidens' words have rung in my ears. They were hustling in Houston for the Beaumont line, headed east to New Orleans, the sheriff close behind. Many times I've been tempted to follow their lead. Many fair maidens' words have rung in my ears. I surrendered my heavens to play the guitar, bargained with the devil to make me a star. If there's a fate worse, it's sure hard to tell. If it ain't barely living, then it's waiting for hell. black muddy, the river boats ride. Where gamblers and women, their shame they don't hide. Many times I've been tempted to follow their lead. Many fair maidens' words have rung in my ears. Down the black meadows, blue shadows fall, where voodoo is queen, sacred over all. Many times I've been tempted to follow their lead. Many fair maidens' words have rung in my ear. You can pay them with them, you can pay as you leave. Bargain with St. Peter, pagan and thief. Sing to the roots of your soul, buried in riches, all back by cold. Many men have been tempted by the siren song. Men who knew better, the mighty and strong. Many times I've been tempted to follow their lead. Many fair maidens' words have rung in my ears. Many fair maidens' words have rung in my ears. Sorry, Scott, I screwed up some of those words there. It's all right. Thank you.
I'm sure he forgives you.
Yeah, no, Tommy, anytime you want, just mix up the words, do whatever you want, man. That's what he'd be like, just do whatever you want. That sounds great to me. Very baritone motherfucker.
Very non-confrontational, too.
Yeah, I know.
Great
Me
tunes.
too. I mean, the two of us together was always like, no, after you, no, after you, no, after
Right,
you.
right.
I mean, I might have been short with him certain times on
Sure.
stage, you know. He had these big clown feet, you know, and if things were going awry on the stage, feedback or whatnot, he'd try to run up and be that stealth guy on the stage and be unplugging all our shit. He'd be like, motherfucker, now we got to plug and crank down. But, you know, all he did was mean well the whole time.
Right.
And we were like, ah. But that's the most he would have ever annoyed us, you know. I mean, you know.
Have these songs been recorded and put out at all, or?
They've been recorded. They've been in the mixing phases now for a long time, and I'm guilty of putting stuff on the back burner and then saying, let me work on this next and let me do this now. And now I got 10 things that aren't finished, you know. So I do have an album's worth of material of Scott's songs that I want to release very soon. I'm mixing them. That one right now, actually. Never performed that one since I wrote it. Just have it in my head so much because I've been mixing it.
And you'll be performing some of them at the benefit?
Yeah, I believe these songs should be heard live. I'm going to ask the band, you know, Half Step, if they could accompany me on a few of these, because we've done it before when we played my father's place a few years back. At the, what hotel was that? Roslyn Hotel?
Hotel, right.
It was primarily an original venue, my father's place.
Yeah.
Having tribute bands was like not really their thing. But they were experimenting with that, and they had Half Step on the gig, and Appy, the owner, says, I want to put an original band on before you guys, you know. And I was like, okay. Well, I'm an original artist, and I got a band, so Half Step actually played a half hour before we did the Grateful Dead tribute, and there was 2 songs on there that were Scott's songs, so they just have to learn another 5 or 6.
Right, that's it.
But yeah, Tony, I do want to release it and get it out there. Another one of those things that are going to be pursued. Hopefully we have enough time to finish all.
So when you were doing the monthly releases, were some of those Scott's, or
No.
those were all yours?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
what I
like
put.
Bicycle.
A Bicycle
So-
Day was Scott's.
Okay, I thought
You see,
so. Yeah.
We had 2 ways of writing. There was the whole Americana stuff, like what you've been hearing tonight, and then there was a psychedelic cosmic concept album we were working on called Bicycle Day, which was based upon Albert Hoffman's discovery of LSD in the 30s when he discovered it on his ride home. He got off on the acid, and it was a bicycle ride, and he tripped out, and he documented it, and So Scott put that into lyrics, and we started. That was the basis of the concept. But Scott was a sci-fi buff and an alien guy. I mean, he used to dress up in alien suits and
At the festivals,
At the
yeah.
festivals
I
and
remember
stuff.
that one year he dressed up as an alien, yeah.
yeah. So we
Skin
had this
tight
idea.
alien suit.
We had this idea of, instead of it just being about Albert Hoffman's discovery of it, let's think about it like in a science fiction way, where, say, the alien race, LSD was like their lifeblood or their like water or whatever, and somehow they crashed on Earth, prehistoric times, and it seeped into our world. So from the earliest days of humankind, we were tripping somehow. So and the aliens knew of it, so they would observe us. They would kind of, let's see what these guys do with this stuff, because they're not too smart. They can't figure it out on their own. And as they trip, they'd get closer to the divine aspect we're at, and then they'd lose it. It'd just be like one of those things. So yeah, it goes through like the Salem witch trials, because they were tripping. A couple of different elements. The '60s, the whole Ken Kesey era. The rages in the '90s and the 2000s and whatever. So we started writing all these songs that were psychedelic based, and that I'm very saddened that we couldn't finish, because we were writing almost like a screenplay about how we were going to plot it out, and one song could be at the end of the story, and there was one written in the beginning of the story, so it was very...
Almost like Blows Against the Empire, right?
Yeah. Is that how that was?
Yeah, it was a sci-fi album. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everything's been done before. I don't know if they were talking about LSD or not, but...
I'm sure they were.
So there is some cool stuff on there. Scott's lyrics are so brilliant, and that I hope to somehow finish, or most of it will be instrumental, I guess. But anyhow, yeah.
Cool.
Do I have another song of his I could play? I wish I could play Bicycle Day now that you mentioned that.
So that was the only one of those releases, those monthly releases, that was collaborated with Scott?
Oh, you've heard it on my website, is that right?
Right, yeah. Like, remember when you had the monthly releases?
Yeah. No, I was putting it's not on Spotify, but I guess you could say technically it's released on my website, but it's not on one.
So that was the only one that you did with him that's on there?
Yeah.
On the website?
Well, Ghost Train might be on there too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Ghost Train and Bicycle Day are both on there. What else do I got that I can think of right now for you? There's one called The Book. Scott writing about the Bible, no less.
There you go.
Let's see what we got here. I'm thinking if I should transpose it on the fly, but no, I'd rather get the hand cramps and the vocal wrong to do it that way. There's a book on my shelf, laid there for years. Edges are frayed, text stained with tears. Cigarette burn on its leather-bound cover. The words it contains, unlike any other. From battles of heart to fight on the street, it's kept me protected, light on my feet. Brace for the day when the shit hits the fan. Gotta blow the dust off every now and again. Your heart will see the signs. Rhythm's held between the lines. Wisdom's always held between the lines. The battles of heart. Hold on. Some say it was written by heavenly hands. Others claim it's a rip-off from comic book stands. Bitter or heathen, been there most my life. I use its words like a trusty knife. Your heart will be set free. It's the same for you and me. The words always the same for you and me. For you and me. always the same for you and me. For you and me. Looks always the same for you and me. For you and me. Ah,
Very nice.
thank you. That one, I guess I left out a verse too. Sorry, Scott. You know, sometimes he would give me so many verses to a song that to get them all in without solos or any intros or bridges, it's freaking like 6 minutes long. You know,
Right.
very Dylan-esque in that sense, where he didn't think like just pull that one out if it doesn't fit, or add this one, take half of this one and do the other half with, you know. So there was a lot of that puzzle pieces that I had to put together there. But that's one that's pretty close to being finished.
So the band's got some stuff coming up in the spring and summer, right?
Yeah. What are you, Merv Griffin?
Yeah.
When did this become you interviewing me? No, Steve's always peppering me with questions. It's part of his job. Like, I look at the daily phone call, kind of like, all right, so we got this, we got this, we got that. I'm like, yeah, you're right. All right, so when are we going to load in? I'll be like, Steve, that's in 6 months, man. Well, I just want to get it, clear in my mind that we know what we're doing here.
I want to plot my week.
Yeah, And I'd be like, don't pepper me with questions.
That's what you guys need, man. You need that, right?
Yes.
Somebody's got to be organized.
That's right.
Thank you.
It's a struggle to be a musician and then also have to be the guy who does the business. It's like the worst
Right.
combination of things ever, so.
I try to lighten that load just a little bit.
Yeah, and you do. We pay you to be that asshole to make sure we get paid. And I want you to do more, to be honest. I want to just make the connection with the person and be like, okay, now I'm going to hand you off to my sales rep. He'll take you from here and then pass it off.
Please
and,
hold.
Then you guys talk turkey. Because, do the schmoozing and then you do the bruising. So we have the Space Theater coming up in May. That's going to be something that's
May 12th,
that
right?
Steve's going to ask me about any day.
Yep, soon.
And that's going to be an interesting show because we're doing a Grateful Dead San Francisco Sound night with a Janis Joplin band and a Jefferson Airplane band.
Reverend Jefferson.
Reverend Jefferson and Amber Ferrari's Joplin's Pearl.
She's great.
You've seen her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's great.
Very good, very good. Yeah, both bands are great. Reverend Jefferson, they sound awesome. So we'll do like real old school primal Grateful Dead stuff. Little fluff, for all those really big epic Jerry ballad songs that you consider bathroom songs.
There you go, right? And funeral marches, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't need a dirge. I'm going to smoke a butt.
Actually, a good friend of mine is the female vocalist in Reverend Jefferson.
Oh, yeah?
Joanne Leadinger, yes.
Oh, that's cool.
She's got her own band, McMule. And she was in the Johnny Markowski band and a couple other things that I've known her from.
Cool.
Yeah, so she's really good.
Yeah, I haven't met those. I met John Cassano. I know him.
Reflections, correct.
Yeah, but he's playing in them as well. And I don't know who they have on guitar or.
They switched the lineup a couple of times.
switched
It
the
used to
lineup.
be Dave Berg, and then it was Rob Wolfson, and now it's neither or.
Yeah. So that's happening May 12th. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster for that.
We were talking before we went on the air. How did the Bangladesh show go?
Oh, it was a huge success this year. It was sold out. Wondrous Stories, they do this extravaganza, I would say, having like 25 to 30 people on stage at the same time. Horns, choir, double drummers, double keyboards, triple guitars. Yeah, it's a crazy event. We loosely recreate the George Harrison concert for Bangladesh. And then any special guests who were involved throughout the years, we do some of their stuff. Like this year we had the bass player from Joe Jackson.
Joe Jackson's bass player?
Nathan Maybe. Anywho, forgive me for not remembering his name, but so did some great Joe Jackson music, and then Kenny Foggione from Wonder Stories put together a new band with Ed Ryan and cast of characters, and they're doing 60s review type stuff, really good radio hits from the 60s. and early 70s. And so they introduced that show, which is really cool. You can see it being very marketable.
Sure.
And as always, it's about 3 hours long with an intermission, so a lot of music. But yeah, you've been to that in the past, right?
I have been to it in the past, and I love it.
Yeah, it was
I
really
love
cool.
it. Always sorry when I can't get there. And my brother was not there this year, right?
No,
No, right.
that's right. Frank and Brother's usually involved.
Yeah.
He did show up, I think, for the sound check.
Oh, did he?
He popped in, but nobody saw him. I didn't see him.
Oh.
And then he emailed us the next day. Hey guys, just popped in to say you guys sounded great as always.
Oh, really?
So who's that masked man?
Yeah, right.
Let me think. Should we do another song or maybe a dead song?
Sure.
All depends on my freaking.
I think we need a happy song.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a. Oh,
You want to take call?
Sure.
do I put these?
Let's see.
You could probably
It's probably
hear
it's probably
I'll hear
Steve's
it.
wife,
No,
Leslie.
it's probably Leslie.
She's our
Ready?
merch girl.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We love Leslie. Hello. Welcome to
Hey, I want to
FlipTrax
hear
Radio.
Steve sing a song.
Oh, is you're not putting your headphones on?
Well, you said you couldn't hear it?
Oh.
Sometimes you can hear it if it's just next to you.
Hold on while we abuse him.
Go ahead, caller. Say that again.
We want to hear Steve sing.
Let Steve sing.
Let Steve sing. Who is
Is
it?
this Matt?
Matt. Hey, Matt. How are you?
Love you guys.
Oh, you too, man.
You're watching us crash and burn live? That's great. That's awesome.
Cheers. I want to hear Steve sing anything. Anything at all.
Anything.
Love you. Bye.
Okay, hold on a second. Anything in the way.
Anything at
Steve
all.
sings.
Anything at all.
It'll distract any normal person.
Oh, that's funny.
Anything that Steve will sing us. You don't want to hear him sing.
That's for sure.
I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. Oh, you're asking him. Will my voice get better? I don't know.
Oh, no.
Let me take these off. We don't need these anymore. They're not off the hook. It's not like the Jerry-thon here.
Where's all our callers?
It's a different kind of Jerry-thon. We're not giving any tote bags out. I am a hardworking musician. Like the Jerry Lewis is the hardworking guy in show business. Well,
Next caller.
Yeah, next caller, please. Someone save my show tonight. Someone save my show tonight. All right, we're gonna do a happy dead song. Well, there's plenty of happy dead songs. I guess can I sing them? But you told me that's not good. I'm gonna get Steve to go out and smoke a butt. Let me think. There's only a handful of happy songs you'll stick around for. I don't know. I love being prepared for shows like this. We can share the women, we can share the wine. We can share what we got to use, 'cause we done shared all of mine. Keep on rolling, just a mile to go. Keep on rolling, my old buddy, you're moving much too slow. I just jumped the watchman right outside the fence. Took his rings for bucks and chains. Ain't fat, heaven sent. Hurts my ears to listen. Shining, it burns my eyes to see. Down a man in cold blood shining. Might as well be me. the point of the knife. Now the die is shaking, now the die must fall. There ain't no winner in this game. Don't go home with all, not with all. Leaving Texas, 4th day of July. Sun so hot, the clouds so low, the eagles fill the sky. Catch the Detroit Lightning out of Santa Fe. The Great Northern had a Cheyenne from sea to shining sea. Gotta go to Tulsa, first train we can ride. I gotta settle one old score, one small point of pride. There ain't no place a man can hide shining, we keep him from the sun. Ain't no bed can give us rest now, you keep us on the run. Whoa. Jack Stroll from Wichita cut his buddy down. Dug for him a shallow grave and laid his body down. Half a mile from Tucson, while I'm on a light. One man gone and another to go. My old buddy, you're moving much too slow. We can share the women, we can share the wine.
Good tune.
That was Steve's first song, right? You told
First
me?
live. That one's always near and dear to my heart. That was the first live Grateful Dead song I heard in concert. Yeah.
Now, when you got into them, did you know of them a lot before you saw them? Or
Yes, I did. Yes.
So you were a big fan beforehand?
Yes. Had all the albums and
Yeah, it was the
all the
same way.
bootlegs and bootleg albums back then.
Yeah. I remember going to the Roosevelt Field flea market to buy the concert jerseys like the next day because you'd get ripped off at the shows or
Right.
say, I can always get it the next day. And then it's like, let me get the concert show that I didn't go to. Walking around with the Grateful Dead concert jersey in school. People are like, oh, he must have went to the show.
I remember I had a bootleg, and that song was titled "We Could Share," and Samson and Delilah was titled "If I Had My Way." You know, it was
yeah.
like, so the names of the songs weren't on the actual cover of the album. You know, to throw people off.
Sometimes the cover wasn't even attached to the sleeve, right? It was like a
Exactly.
separate piece of paper, right?
That's right.
Yeah, they just slip it in.
I remember that. Yeah, that was funny.
Do you mind if I ask a question?
Sure.
Because you mentioned something earlier about taping and stuff. So I know I'm not. I mean, I like the Dead a lot, but I'm not nowhere near you guys. So,
Right.
but if I'm not mistaken, they were the first band to let people actually plug in, right? So is that what you were referring to before? That not
Right.
everybody had access to that or something?
Right.
But you could bring your own
You bring
tape
your own
recorder and just.
microphones, your own tape recorder, your
And
own
they were
stand.
cool with that?
Yeah, they were good with that. They actually
Really?
established an area called Taper's Pit. You know, for
Okay, but
old
that
tapers.
wasn't the people hooking up to the soundboard.
No, that was. I've never hooked up to the soundboard with the Grateful Dead with other bands. You know, but
And how'd your stuff come out then if you weren't hooked up to the soundboard?
sounded really well.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
absolutely,
cool.
If you get
Well,
up,
their
get up
live
there high
sound
enough.
was really good. So
Yeah.
if you had a good spot in the room, then you definitely
Right.
were able to
Depending on
capture
where
it.
you were, you know. So
And then I think they were the first band to do anything like that. I know a lot of bands
Yeah.
followed suit with that
Well,
later
that really
on. but-
helped their popularity out. The fact that people were trading tapes in the 70s.
Yeah,
and,
right, sure.
You know, it really helped the allure out of, like, I got to see these guys because every show's different and I have the same show and a different
Right.
tape and, you know, the sources. And you know, it became fanatical for a lot of them with the microphones and the types of cassettes and Maxell XL2s, but you can't have the chrome ones. It was like all those different like aspects to it, you know.
Sure.
That were
Different types of decks and whatnot.
Yeah, and then when DAT came out, that was the Casio
Right,
now when you
right.
had DAT, right?
Went from chrome tape to metal tape. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like they said when we're done with it, they can have it. You know, so there you go.
Wow, that's cool.
I don't know how many bands followed suit after that. Is
Metallica. There you go.
Yeah.
Metallica had made a pit. Fish has got a pit. Right?
Didn't
I don't know if Fish allows it.
the Black Crows? I thought no.
The Crows allow
I
taping.
think Pearl Jam might also allow it.
Pearl Jam. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Hot
Yeah.
Tuner allowed it for a while, and then somehow somebody let a board out onto eBay or something, so that got squashed. Right
Oh,
away.
okay.
And Government Mule allows it.
Oh, so is that the rule of thumb? The second you go out to sell something, then that's
yeah,
it.
well, somebody had gotten Tuna was letting you tape boards for a little while. You know,
Right,
so
okay.
Somebody got one, leaked one out.
Then what became pretty popular at the shows is that they'll give you a really well produced CD at the end of the concert.
Right, I remember that.
Was doing
Yeah,
that for
you
a
can
while.
wait online after the show and get a copy of the show from the soundboard.
I remember of all
Burned
people,
on.
Hall & Oates was doing that for a while.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
which I thought was really strange.
That's interesting.
That's cool.
Can't think of who else allowed the taping.
Yeah.
You know, King Crimson was totally against it.
Most of the English
Yeah.
bands wouldn't tolerate that shit.
Right.
I think. You know, even like Wilco, they get ballistic if they get shit.
Yeah, but then, well, then a lot of bands like I know the Who did it for a while. They would tape each show either like you didn't have to wait till after. They would sell it on their website, a DVD and audio of each concert, so you can pick and choose
That's
which ones you
cool.
wanted to get.
I'm sure guys like Billy Joel wouldn't allow it, right?
No, yeah, I've never, not that I know, of, I've
Elton
never seen
John,
them do that.
Yeah, none of those guys would tolerate like
Genesis.
Record. Well, and the weird thing is their shows are like clocked out to the minute, exactly the second of how things have to go and be, and
Plus they're-
so it gets boring to have one copy or two copies.
Well, that's the
same
thing. Their
thing,
set
yeah.
list is almost the same.
Yeah.
Billy
Yeah,
Joel.
everything is very
yeah.
structured. Yeah,
It's-
lighting and the music all goes together.
Billy
and
Joel
that's-
changes maybe two songs each time he plays the Garden. You know,
Yeah.
so it's not worth it to keep getting all the different shows.
Yeah. That's the one thing I always loved about the Dead. You can never predict what they were going to play.
Yeah, that's cool.
And part of the fun was trying to guess. Like, as they were tuning up for the next song, you'd be like, oh, you could almost feel the energy in the room. It was like, they're going to do that now. And then when they did it, you felt like, look at me. I
That was the
do.
best part is when the lights went down before the first set, and what are they going to do?
Yeah. And then the other exciting moment is when they didn't have Jerry loud enough in the mix and all of a sudden screamed out of nowhere and the place went raw. Ah, there he is. Yeah.
Those are the good old days.
The good old days. So yeah, I'm happy you were able to come out and share.
Thanks for having me, guys.
And the thoughts, Steve Trietta. When you see him at the shows, come say hello. He might bite your hand off. We don't know. But we love you, Scott Vid. And the
Yes,
benefit
Scotty.
at
Rest
Mr.
in
Beery's
peace.
on May 5th. Come out and show your support and love for the family. And a lot of music. It'll be a good day. Food, Mr. Beery's antics.
I hear there's going to be some good grilled cheese there.
We got the food truck going on in the back. He's going to break out the Blackstone and
Yep, the flat top is coming
flat
out.
tops.
Yep,
Yep. So that'll be good.
burgers and dogs.
I don't know if we're accepting donations or if it's going to be a door charge, probably.
I think it's probably going to be a door charge. and-
Yeah. So all the proceeds will go to the family, his sons.
Absolutely.
So anyhow, let's end with a nice little, pretty little Deddy ballad, right? We'll do Fare You Well,
Very nice.
My Honey. Fare you well, sing Steve. My only true one. All the birds that were singing are flown, except you know. Gonna leave this broke down palace on my hands and my knees. I will roll, roll, roll myself a bed by the waterside. In my time, I will roll, roll, roll. In a bed by the waterside, I will lay my head. Listen to the river sing sweet songs to rock my soul. River, gonna take me, sing me sweet and sleepy. Sing me sweet and sleepy all the way back home. It's a far gone lullaby, so many years ago. Mama, mama, many worlds I've gone since I first left home. Going home, going home by the waterside, I will raise my bones. Listen to the river sing sweet songs to rock my soul. Gonna plant a weeping willow by the bank's green edge. It will grow, grow, grow. Sing a lullaby beside the water. Lovers come and go. The river will roll, roll, roll. Fare you well, fare you well. I love you more than words can tell. Listen to the river sing sweet songs to rock my soul. I'm gonna listen to the river sing sweet songs to rock my soul. Thank you, Steve.
You got it. Rest in peace, my brother Scott.
We love you.